30 videos in 30 days, day 5. Today's question comes from Jessica. Jessica writes, my question is, how do you as an enlightened person help unenlightened people, friends, family, coworkers, etc. without burning through your own energy? Wow, I think that that's a really timely question, especially when we see so much stuff happening on the world stage right now and so many shifts and so much falling apart, and it just seems to be coming at us from all directions. I think the first thing to understand is that we have no way of knowing what a soul has chosen for their journey. So while we may be able to look from our perspective and say, oh, well, I see this person as unawakened, or I see this person as sort of unaware, or their head's in the sand, or their head's in the clouds, or they're going in the wrong direction, or what have you, we have no way of knowing what they need. Everyone, I believe this with all of my heart, is that whatever is going on and whatever moment in our life that we are in is exactly what needs to be unfolding at that time. Sometimes it takes a lot of pressure. Sometimes it takes us being backed up against the wall. Sometimes it takes us being really miserable and really unhappy to finally say, okay, I've had enough. It's time for me to begin to make a change or do things differently or see things in a new perspective. So I think the first thing is to allow people to be where they are. You know, the way I look at it is, who am I to decide what another person needs to be happy? One person's, idea of a perfect experience could be another person's idea of a total nightmare. So I think the first thing is just to allow people their space. I think it's also important to understand that it's not my responsibility to help anybody. It is my responsibility to pay attention to my own impulses and my own inspiration. And when I am inspired to help others, certainly it is important for me to follow that inspiration. But I think in terms of feeling like I have to go out and save the world or save somebody or save my family or friends, that I feel is a little bit misguided in the sense that it sets us up for perhaps pouring our energy into something that it's not appropriate, or it's not the right time, or it's just not what they need. I think something that we can do in terms of a practical way to assist others is just hold space for them. I call this being the witness. And I have this experience with people in my life, as I have been on this journey, there have been many friends and people that were close to me who were not so close anymore. People who are close to me who are going through their own struggles and going through their own difficulties and trying to find a way to be present for them without taking on the responsibility of fixing them or changing them or trying to help them in a way that isn't appropriate. And being the witness allows you to be present without having to take on their stuff. And it's as simple as you're with someone, a family, a friend, a loved one, a coworker, or whatever, and you see them complaining about something or sharing something with you, and just mirror back. Wow, I can see that that's really difficult for you. Oh my gosh, it sounds like that was really challenging for you. Wow, I can see how sad you are. Man, that must have been really hard. Oh my gosh, yes, I can see how afraid you were. Gosh, I would, so you just mirror back to them what you're seeing, because I think more often than not, oftentimes people just want to know that they're being heard. Now, there is something that happens when we are finding ourselves in an environment that starts to feel toxic or starts to feel negative in the sense that it's depleting us or it's starting to affect our energy. Like showing up to a relationship with someone who is always complaining and always miserable and always negative about something, if that starts to have an effect on you, then I think it's time to slowly put a little bit of distance between you and that person. Be very mindful about the time that you're spending with them. Be very mindful and deliberate about how much attention and how much room in your life you're giving them. Because I think that at some point we have to be willing to understand that some people are only happy when they have something to complain about, right? You give someone a handful of seeds and they'll complain that there are no flowers. So I think just allowing ourselves to give the people in our lives the space that they need to come to their own awakening. And I remember back in my journey, I can see now in hindsight, there were plenty of opportunities when the universe was knocking at my door saying, hey, Andrew, it's time to wake up. And in hindsight, I see that, I woke up in the right way, in the right time that was appropriate for me. And so I can see that, yeah, okay, people were trying to help me and people were trying to lift me up, but I wasn't there yet. I wasn't ready. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't see it. So consider that even though you may be very well-intentioned, if someone's not ready, if someone's not in the place to receive the truth, you can be telling them the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's not going to connect. It's not going to get in there. It's just going to be hitting up against a brick wall and sliding off and going nowhere. So hold space for them, show up as the witness, have compassion for them, and understand that when it's time, they're going to awaken and they're going to come to their own awareness in the right place at the right time. Thanks for the question. I hope this helps.